Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video. This is part 3 of my dreams for work, like for Richard Branson, investing in these sorts of things I talk about. I hope this video won't cut just because I'm a problem with my ISP, internet service provider or whatever, but it seemed to cut out half my videos, so I was talking to myself and it wasn't recording, so that was really annoying, quite annoying. But anyway, hopefully it won't do that again. I don't know if I need to change the ISP or whatever, but I don't know if that's a problem with YouTube or the internet service provider themselves. But anyway, I'm going to try and crack on with my plans or ideas. And I can't remember what else I was going to say. I think I was going to say something in the intro, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, hopefully people out there will find this idea interesting. And again, hopefully, especially as I mentioned in parts 1 and 2, I hope especially people with dyslexia or their families will find it interesting. And will enjoy some of these ideas, and hopefully Richard Branson will find them fun and worth investing in, or worth looking into, like for a charity, and maybe even get some tax exemptions. Anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling, and here goes. So number 21. In the past, I used to I was more interested in running my own business. Now I'm interested in philanthropy, as I often mentioned before. But I wanted someone like I was thinking, what if Richard Branson could be like the chairman of M.K.S Enterprises, which is what I wanted to set up, like a brand and team that worked together in business called M.K.S Enterprises. And when I wrote it down, I often wrote in brackets like brand/team. So it was like, the idea was this: to create a brand and to work as a team. And I wanted Richard Branson to be the chairman of that. But part of me was wondering whether it should be like a female with dyslexia. So it's like more a woman's representative, like someone like Barbara Corcoran, who's also dyslexic, who's a dyslexic woman who's also on the Shark Tank in the US. But and I was thinking like it'd be great if they're like a chairwoman to make it like sort of more for diversity, or maybe a person of color, or both. But yeah, so I thought of Richard Branson being like the CEO or the CEO, chairman, and stroke or MD of the company. And I also thought of like Charles Schwab, who's another dyslexic billionaire, being like the head of like the M.K.S money management team, or money managers team, which would be the company which would look after like the finances and make sure we like profit maximize and things like that. So that was my old plan. But anyway, as time has changed, I sort of wanted to do more for philanthropy instead, and like sort of give as much and raise as much money as possible, and give as much of my own money to charity as possible, and live like a minimal lifestyle in a way, although I have a hoarding habit at the same time. So but yeah, so that was my older idea. But again, reminding myself why these ideas are important to me are things like looking after people across Africa, and as an anti-imperialist, I would love to support dyslexics, especially so from Africa and Asia and places like that. So it would be like colonized countries or developing countries, and this would be to sort of kill two birds with one stone, as the saying goes. Number 22, maybe in the future there could be like an enterprise like that. Well, in the future I dream to do that in Africa, or Asia as well, to connect what I call the six. So indigenous people from Africa, Australasia, the Americas, and Asia, and also Ireland, and also add on to that Latin Americans, like working together, colonized or developing countries, colonized/developing countries, to work together. And maybe people like Richard Branson could be like the mentor to look at how those can be, or one of the mentors to look at how they can develop in the future. And maybe dyslexic billionaires could support such. And I think dyslexic people are often overrepresented in a negative area, which is like crime or criminality, because of frustrations at school, or because we're misunderstood. So even our strengths are not always acknowledged. I think because of that, especially historically, many dyslexic people have been involved in crime and criminality. And to me, another controversial idea I have, and I have to mention controversial ideas or views or whatever, but another controversial opinion I have is that, to me, colonialism is a crime, in my opinion. So I think it'd be quite ironic if dyslexic people were anti-imperialists and helped to reparate countries that were colonized and things like that. So I think that would be quite an irony. I don't have a quirky way of thinking, but yeah. So in the future, I'd love to see how Richard Branson people like that could help, especially dyslexics in Africa, to help Africa to be positive, be in a positive position, and like help them in technology and areas like that, so that they can help to lead areas like technology in the future and STEM generally. Number 23, I think again it'd be great if people like Richard Branson, dyslexic millionaires and billionaires, and financially successful dyslexics generally, helped dyslexic entrepreneurs and people like that helped to create centres like academies and training centres for, as I mentioned before, for dyslexics especially, or maybe a large percentage. Some of them could be specifically just for dyslexics, and some of them could have a large intake of dyslexic students from a young age to learn about things like business or STEM or other areas, as well as having fun and playing sports, things like, but also developing for the future, like learning key skills for the future, or how to reach their full potential in the future. So I think it'd be great to like raise funds for those sorts of things. And if people like Richard Branson owned, or Virgin itself owned these centres or bought these centres, and also people like John Chambers and Charles Schwab and other dyslexic millionaires and billionaires, Craig McCaw and people like that, or their companies invested in these sorts of things, and maybe in the future like it'll benefit their companies as well. But I especially hope to help people in those countries, and especially help some of the poorest people in the world as much as possible. Again, especially those with neurodiverse conditions such as dyslexia and ADHD. Again, God willing, this stream won't cut out like it did before. Like I hope it will properly record, and hope I won't babble too much. But yeah, so number 24, I think as an anti-imperialist, I would love, as I say, to encourage supporting countries that were colonized, and specifically countries like Malaysia, India, Indonesia, the rest of Asia, Singapore, Asia generally, and African countries, and that sort of thing. Number 25, I'd also love to support republics, and most of those countries, if not all of them, are republics as well. Almost all of Africa and Asia are republics, and also Ireland. But as an anti-imperialist, I would love to support republics as well. I'm not sure if Richard Branson would agree, because obviously he's from Britain, and he's someone who's often seen as a representative of British industry. But me personally, putting forward my own personal biases, perhaps, I would love to support republics personally, so I would love to encourage people to do that. Number 26, again, I think it'd be great to support anti-imperial causes and reparations for the worldwide black diaspora, especially talking about in October, again, especially ones with dyslexia, including in the UK as well as Africa and around the world, as much as possible. But again, supporting anti-imperial groups, as well as, I think it'd be great if anti-imperial groups also supported people across Africa and Asia, a place like that were colonized. Number 27, in the future, this could actually benefit Virgin perhaps again, because if they invest in empowering people with dyslexia in places like, say, for instance, Kenya, and work with the D.A.S, Dyslexia Organization of Kenya, then again, if those people do well in the future, which I hope they do, that's one of the main goals, one of the main dreams, then they could always obviously return the favor and use their success to benefit Virgin. So as well as, I think, helping people also has its own good feeling, I think that again, they could return the favor as well financially, even, as well as it can also feel good to help others as well, and maybe there could be tax exemptions and things like that. Number 28, I think it'd be great again to make the world a better place and turn negative situations into positives, as I was saying, like reparations and things like that. Number 29, again, I'm putting forward quite a few of my own biases, like say supporting Malaysia and India and Indonesia and the rest of Asia and Singapore, especially a lot of those countries that I mentioned, or all those countries that I mentioned really, in terms of Malaysia, India, Indonesia and Singapore, all have like large Eurasian populations as well. So I suppose that's one of the reasons why I especially hope to support them. But yeah, so I think I would definitely love to support Eurasians in those countries as well as dyslexics. And number 30, again, hopefully in the future, I'll think of more ideas, and maybe we could work together. And if these ideas, well, with momentum, more ideas could be worked on. Like if there's centres, obviously the training centres or academies do well, then obviously it would make sense for Virgin and Richard Branson to invest in more training centres. And I'm sure there's some things I've forgotten, but I'll probably put them in the comment section, or include them in future videos or whatnot. And I am out. Peace and love.